Hey, let's talk a little Major League Baseball. We're going to have a season, guys. Name your favorite team: Stuart Weber, Marcel Robinson, Dan Hicken. Go, Stuart.
Atlanta Braves. They had spring training in West Palm Beach growing up, so I'm a Braves fan for life. Let's go.
I think I'm going to have to rock with my man Stuart, Georgia to the day I die. Let's go Atlanta Braves.
Disgraceful. Take the New York Metropolitans, 10 games coming up against the Braves. Let's finish them off. We're excited to be in the hunt in late July when we get there.
Hicken, did they show like the Billy Buckner game a record 52 times or something during the pandemic?
Hilarious 10th inning. Can you believe this ball game at Shea?
And I watched it probably 48 of them. Behind the bag, it gets by Buckner, and the Mets win. Thank you, Vince Scully.
Awful, says this Red Sox fan. All right, now that we have a baseball season, guys, which is cool, we have that coming up. They waited too long. We're not going to have it around July 4th, unfortunately. But does baseball all of a sudden, do we forget about everything that happened, Dan, or does it still look bad in all of this?
I'm still angry. I'm still a little angry, but the love of the game and the love of your team overrides that. And then you start talking about the storylines and you get excited and you think, gosh, and you look at the schedules and now I guess we're all playing each other in the division 10 times and then the other division in the American, like we'll play the American League East, each of those teams 4 times, and that's your 60 games. And the way they're going to manage and having a DH in the National League is exciting to me, and extra innings, putting a runner on second base, all that stuff. I think when baseball comes back, I think I love baseball so much, I'm going to watch it, and then I'll get mad at it again next year when they start doing the CBA.
Yeah, that's going to be another story for another time. Yeah. Stuart, your Atlanta Braves, one of the favorites, really. Got a really good baseball team. Do you think this helps the Braves 60-game season or hurts one of the favorites in Major League Baseball this year?
I would have to think it hurts the favorites because, you think about a favorite and in baseball having such a long season in 162 games, you have that opportunity to show why people think you're going to be good. So really, opening it up to just 60 games is certainly going to let really anybody find their way in. I mean, you look at some of the teams maybe 60 games into a season that are still competing. Well, now those people are going to be right in line for a spot in the playoffs. And I think it's going to open it up to a lot of teams will have that opportunity to, maybe surprise some people.
Brent, John Smoltz said, watching when he was on all those great Braves teams, he said it took us April and May. We're just feeling each other out. And, man, you're going to have to manage these games differently, man. You're going to have to overuse your bullpen because every game counts. And if you're a Braves team or a Mets team and you're playing the Marlins, you might have to manage that like Game 7 because you got to go 10-0 against the Marlins and try and make the playoffs with 32, 33 wins.
That's what the Braves think about going against the Mets. You got to go.
Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth.
Hey, Marcel, how much are you watching how Major League Baseball does this? Because obviously we cover the NFL so much in the Jags. Just from a logistics point of view, are you interested in that part of it just to see how Major League Baseball does it?
I think I am, along with every other sports league, in the world. I think it's sort of like people really want to know how we're going to get this thing done. I mean, it's cool that we have a plan in place in terms of, how we're going to manage, the virus testing and keeping everybody apart and who's allowed where and what we're doing and everything. But I think it's just everyone, myself included, just want to know just how is this thing going to work? I mean, it's just like, for example, like the PGA Tour, when they came out, Jay Monahan said that, hey, this is a virus that we're just going to learn to live with. And obviously, PGA Tour, when they're doing golf tournaments, that's a whole lot different than baseball. I mean, we've got, tons of people that are required to be, here to make this thing run. And I think it's just a matter of, it's cool that we have a plan in place, but I mean, for me, I'm anxious to see how this plan changes from day to day.
Action Sports Jax, talking a little Major League Baseball. We're going to have a season later in July. Major League Baseball took a long time to do that. Dan, we've got some new rules, man. This is going to be like the travel ball guys when we're talking a Texas tiebreaker in the 10th inning. Do you like it? We see more bunting, maybe.
Well, if they do, maybe they could sign your son up and let him go up there and lay a couple down. He's a pretty good bunter. Not many people can. It does bring strategy-wise, Brent, it does bring everything into play, especially in the extra innings. You put a guy at second base. Do you walk the guy to first to set up a double play? Do you walk the bases full? Do you try to bunt him over to third and get him in? I mean, it's going to be fascinating how these managers do it and understand, even if you're a new manager, like the Mets have this guy, Luis Rojas, and he's a new manager. And less wiggle room for him. He makes a mistake, it's a lot more glaring in 60 games than it is in 162. Having the DH is going to be interesting. I saw an article today that said, if Cespedes is a DH for the Mets, when he ever DH'd in the American League, he liked to roam around. Well, guess what? New protocol. You can't roam around. You got to sit in the dugout and watch the game. So there are a lot of different factors, and I'm just happy to be talking about these things. As far as the corona, I did read they're going to test the ball players every other day. So I think that's kind of interesting too. Try and make sure that they stay on top of that.
All right, Stuart, let me ask you this. Dan mentioned the DH. You guys are all National League guys. I'm an American League guy with the Red Sox, so DH has always been a part of it. But Ty did say, it's like, why doesn't everybody have the DH? I always think it's interesting to hear the kids talk about it. Well, it's been a traditional thing for a long, long time. Do you like it, Stuart? Do you like the fact that there'll be a DH in the National League?
I don't know. I've always kind of enjoyed a pitcher having to hit. I know it results in, less runs and less offense, which is what everybody likes. But, you're a baseball player. Even if you're just a pitcher every fifth day, you should still be able to swing a bat. And there is nothing more exciting than a pitcher hitting a home run. I mean, there is nothing better than that sensation and watching that happen and the team going nuts. So part of me, I get it. But at the same time, I liked having that differentiation for the National League.
Hey, Brent, is this where Stuart, when we show this on television, is going to drop in some of his swings over at Reagan Field?
Those were pitcher-esque swings. Yeah, I mean, I could be a pitcher with those swings.
He impressed me
video
with
right
that.
there.
He impressed me. All right, hey, we got to wrap up here. But before we go, I'm going to go run by all of you. Asterisk or not on a World Series champ in 2020 because of the shortened season. Marcel, what do you think?
I say yes. Have to. It's not a full season.
Dan?
Hell no, especially if the Mets win. They were 39-21 over their last 60 last year. If the Mets win, man, I'm buying all you guys Mets World Champion gear, and you're going to wear it proudly, and we're all going to celebrate. I won't remember the fact that it wasn't 162. No.
Stuart?
I'm not going to wear that Mets gear, but I don't think there's an asterisk because all the MLB teams are under the same conditions. So I think it's fair game for deciding a title.
I think it'll be a little bit of an asterisk for this year, next year, maybe the next 5 years, but we don't remember what happened in 1960, do we, guys?
1981, it was strike year. Who won,
Yeah, I think the bigger thing is the stats. The leader in home runs might have 22 home runs. You're going to be like, what happened that year? That might be the bigger thing. All right, Major League Baseball, good to have it back. That'll do some baseball talk here on Action Sports Jax Primetime. Action Sports Jax Primetime,
Saturday at 10:30 on Fox 30.